My name is Colin. I come from the Alphabets. I play under the name of the Boy Trapped Sun, and I'm a Pisces. I enjoy red wine and Thai food. I'm looking for anybody in the and I play acoustic music very much.
Good, that's what I had to hear, man. Some nice dodgy dating video style things. So if you want to date with Colin, just get in touch and we'll pass on all your details to that as well. You know what I mean? New album's out so far. Kind of like take us through your writing process. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of got their own kind of way of writing and stuff like that. How would you kind of describe your process? Are you quite kind of like a sit down and get it done sort of person, or do you kind of roll with it sort of thing?
Pretty fractured. I mean, I used to kind of sit on an idea and I'm working it and stuff like that, but it's changed. Now I do a lot of it. I work a lot with the computer when I'm writing, so I'll record ideas and instead of playing them over and over again, I'll just sit and just listen to them on a loop, or sit and think about it, and then so it's quite sporadic. I'll do a few ideas here and there, jot them down, a few words here and there, and then keep on coming back to them and try and piece them all together. I like doing it that way because sometimes you end up, you maybe have 3 or 4 different ideas which will eventually turn into just one song. Take different things, like or write a riff 3 months ago, and then maybe I'll start doing a chorus and I'll think of that riff and take it back in and try and
kind of piece it together sort of thing. That sounds good, man. That sounds good. The new album's out, just started July, I believe, sort of thing. So offering up to people one song to download from it. What one would you suggest as being your personal favourite for them to go out and get if they can only afford one, because we're all skin students deep down?
I don't be peaceful music anyway.
Oh, don't do that, man. Come on. Yes, they do. They're going to go out and download one. Which one would you strongly recommend? What's your favourite song on the album?
I think I think at the moment it's probably Home. And I like playing that one live, and then also I like Dreaming Like a Fool because the backing band on the recording is pretty shit hot. So.
That's good, man. That's good. How did you feel about Home being used in, was it Holyoaks?
Yeah, that was funny. I came home one day, I had about 60 missed calls on my phone. And it was funny to find out how many of my friends actually watched Holyoaks.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you're going to hold that against them in the future.
I only read Tolstoy and drink expensive champagne, and I'm an art student, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I just saw you on Holyoaks. Really cool.
I like it, man. I like it. Sort of thing, like with the album out and stuff like that, and you kind of like pushing forward. What's kind of like the aspirations for the year ahead, sort of thing? Where is Colin going to be in a year's time?
Hopefully still alive.
Positive, mate. Think positive.
Yeah, that's positive.
That's positive, mate. That's positive. So we're just aiming to be still alive, and with your lovely herbal tea, I'm sure you're going to be going strength through strength, sort of thing.
Maybe.
Some sort of thing. No, I like it, man. I like it. Do you know what I mean? I think you kind of talked about it. Do you know what I mean? What sort of inspiration have you had, sort of thing, towards your music? Who's your everybody's got an artist that's inspired them throughout their time. Like, who would you kind of touch on as your own?
I guess Dylan.
The usual sort of thing, like
Young and bits and pieces like that, and then like one band I think I listen to a lot, and not just from the way they record and the way they do things, the way they deal with the business side. Wilco, you know them, the American band. I watched that documentary they did. I'm Trying to Break Your Heart. Before I started making the album, and it was quite cool just to see how a band like that works, and how they're just kind of, there's no crap involved. It's just music. It's just about making an album that they enjoy making. And ended up getting them, I think they got dropped for it.
Fair enough.
But they still, that's the thing. It's like sticking to your guns, and that's it.
No, sounds good. Sort of thing. I mean, you've touched on saying you're from Lewis there. Have you found it more difficult coming from a remote place, sort of thing? Did you kind of feel that you've been held back by that, or do you feel it's kind of added something to your kind of music through that as well?
No, I never felt held back. I don't think. I actually think in some ways it gave me a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise had. I mean, when we started, if you're starting out as a musician in Glasgow, it's a big pond, and hundreds of bands start there every year. You really have to. I mean, you could be a fantastic band in Glasgow and still get lost in the wash because there's hundreds of really fantastic bands. So coming from Lewis, it was a bit easier to get a foothold and get some initial backing or funding, or you know, the high arts in the Highlands, they were always about the young bands in the Highlands and staying in the Highlands. So I stayed there for as long as I physically could, but then I mean, it does say if you do reach that stage where you have a record company offering you something, you physically can't do it from the island. So, well, not at the start anyway.
Fair enough. You sound like quite nostalgic there, kind of looking back, going like the life of the Lewis instead of London Calling sort of thing through that as well. Can I kind of think through that as well? Or kind of like, you know, you've obviously been tipped yourself, but what's your tip at the minute in time, or what's on your iPod that's kind of new and fresh that you're really enjoying listening to at the minute?
I've pretty much been listening to local natives for the last 2 months non-stop. That's amazing. Wow. It's one of those albums that makes you wish you were better at music.
This is such a positive conversation, you know that, exactly. No, I like it, man, I like it. You know what I mean, in that respect as well, you're obviously kind of moving forward and stuff like that. What advice could you kind of pass down to anybody that was kind of looking to kind of go forward with it, sort of thing, with music as a career progression sort of thing?
I don't know.
Do you have any advice?
I'm probably not the best person to give advice, but I guess it's kind of, you know, don't stick to what you're doing, I guess is the main thing I've always found. It's like just do your thing and eventually people catch up to you rather than trying to change yourself to catch up with people.
Sounds good, man, sounds good. We've got, at the minute in time, we've got a wee competition going on for the most random tour story that we've got on the go, sort of thing. So it's got to be the most random and most embarrassing thing that you've done on tour or you've seen on tour, sort of thing, through that as well. We've asked every band so far. We've had some great ones. We've had vomiting into a cup whilst doing the robot. We've had lots of embarrassing toilet stories through that as well. We've had breaking down in auto bands and missing sets. We've had lots of different bits like that as well. We've got a trophy, and I would love this trophy to stay in Scotland or go to a Scottish artist. So it's kind of offering up to you, Colin. Most random story, most embarrassing story so far.
Okay, I need a moment to think about this. This could be tricky.
This could be tricky.
All right, I've got a good one. I once played in Moscow, and when we got picked up by the car to go to the gig, it's kind of a twofold story. And it's like, first of all, we got picked up at the car at the station, and it was obviously the guy that booked the gig had some sort of maybe mafia, maybe not connection, but anyway, this guy opened this blacked out van door, and when his jacket went like that, he had a 9mm strapped to his chest. And the other guy in the band that was with accidentally opened the glove box, and there was another 9mm in there. So he quickly shut it.
Yeah.
So we got to the venue really safely. Nobody messed with us, needless to say. When we got into the venue, it was the poshest thing ever. And this wee boy came up and sat beside me and was like, "Hello, you're very nice." So I had to make a sharp exit using the mafioso man yet again. So, not to say I've got anything against being hit on by a guy. That's, you know, it's nice to know you're attractive, but it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you in the mafia style style Russian. No, that sounds good. Just kind of one final question to kind of round it off. Again, something that we've kind of asked everybody so far. We've already seen your strange teas and stuff like that, but you can have one toasty. It's the end of the world. What do you want in your final toasty on this earth?
Oh, my final toasty?
In your final toasty, yeah.
Crack.
Crack, okay, fair enough.
Whiskey,
so...
And 3 naked women.
3 naked women instead of toasty. Sounds good, man, sounds good. Well, thank you very much for the boy who trapped us on. Everyone go and buy his album. Don't illegally download it, as he might have suggested earlier. I think that's the way forward. Cheers, thanks very much. Cheers, bye-bye.